Alright. This did not record the first time correctly. Ah, the controller stopped again. If you wonder why I stopped playing, the controller went out again. Oh, motherfucker. Clayton, please play. My controller does not fucking... Come on, man. Dude. Everything went out. This is crazy. What is wrong? My controller stopped working again. Oh, come on. Why is it fucking working this thing? Come on, dude. Oh my god, Jesus. I'm gonna edit this and do this again. Clayton, please play me. I don't have a controller that works half the time.
I have to be like super careful because the controller keeps coming unplugged. I'll show you after this video. Remember, if you like the videos, like, subscribe, comment, share, support the channel if you want to appreciate things. Today, I'm going to be talking about this right here. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about the impossible dust. This stuff right here. And I'm talking about it because, well, we've been making some Guilty Gear videos again, but you know, there's this idea that one of the great mistakes in fighting games ever was the combo or canceling in Street Fighter 2. And I've always said that I think that's potentially a little bit exaggerated because for me personally, when I think about it logically, I think it's kind of strange that Street Fighter 2 would release and that you have stuff like, oh, Ryu can cancel his Duck Fierce, but Guile can't cancel his Duck Fierce. That just seems a little strange to me. So for me, when I think about it, I think that probably what happened is they actually found it in internal testing, but the idea that they just released the game to the public and, oh, hey, Ryu can cancel all these normals, but Guile can't cancel his normals seems weird to me. Seems a little bit exaggerated, but on the idea of, again, sorry, I've been sick. On the idea of great mistakes in fighting game history, what I'm showing off here in this video is that I always think that Guilty Gear's Impossible Dust is an example of a great mistake in fighting game history that only made the game better. And it teaches you how to play the game in steps, right? It's a homogenized mechanic that at a lower level is easy to understand, but to make it quotation marks optimal, you actually have to understand the character and then it becomes specific and it becomes unique to that character. And what I mean is, if we look at Dust for what it is just right here, you know, it's an overhead, right? Now we've given every character an overhead. So say if a guy's just mashing on a button, blah, 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 right? And they hit you with the dust. Well, if they keep continuing to mash, oh, well, we can do shit like that, right? Oh, so even the person that's mashing the scrub, they can get a little bit of fun. They're like, oh, that's weird. I can just mash my move and get a combo. Now, maybe the next time that they mash, they do a hard into a slash and they're like, oh, that's weird. Then they level up a little bit more and they're like, oh, so wait, if I hit the guy right before this screen changes color, whatever, you mean the guy can't tech? And so, like I said, you're teaching the player in step by step, right, of how the game works. It's quotation marks fun at every level. It is an overhead, so it has like competitive use, but then to make it more optimal and to make it worth it, generally speaking, for the higher level player, you now have to use the actual properties of the game, of this, you know, hitting the guy before the screen freezes like that. And then you're like, oh, so if I do that, you know, I could do this, and then, oh, I can do that. And you're like, wait, so for Kai, if I'm in the corner over here, I can keep doing, you know, burst safe, forward hard slash shit. Or if I'm a little bit closer to the corner like I should here, I can do a couple burst safe shit here. Then I jump in here. Then I do a DP loop here, whatever. And that's unique to Kai, right? That is something that I think is actually a pretty incredible, you know, maybe bug is a little bit strong of a word, but most people consider it at least an oversight in the game. And if you were to think about maybe a game made nowadays, who knows if Impossible Dust would even exist in today's ether of fighting games, because who knows, maybe if you did this in, you know, fighting game now, it might be like, oh, well, now once Kai does that, or, you know, he falls and he hits the guy, whatever, you know, oh, well, maybe Kai's sprite touching the ground, that resets everything. So then the guy's automatically going to go back to his normal tech. Maybe it wouldn't have been, you know, actually hitting them like that. Who knows? Although that could potentially add to some other sort of finagling of the game system to add some obscurities. But again, hopefully you get what I'm getting at there is that people often talk about Street Fighter 2 as a great mistake canceling, which it is, although potentially over exaggerated, I think, to the narrative. But I also think that Guilty Gear XX with the Impossible Dust is an example of a great mistake in fighting games, right? And of course, you also have some dusts are faster than others. Some have special properties, like Faust is invincible. Eddie has lower body invincibility. That adds some kind of interesting stuff to it. And then, although not exactly the same, you have, say, Kai's Dust in Xrd. He has the little electric lightning seal that adds properties to his moves. And so you're kind of encouraged to use a homogenized mechanic, perhaps, but it actually gives you a something unique to your character, right? And I think that's a pretty incredible oversight that actually only makes Guilty Gear as a game better. And it's too bad that a game like Strive, dusts kind of feel like cheap pops, right? That's not me saying that dust is not competitively useful, but it's certainly not as interesting from a design perspective and a competitive perspective, I think, as a game like XX, right? And again, that's not saying that you don't use it in Strive. Obviously, you have like charge up dust and whatever, all this kind of shit, but certainly not as interesting as this game. Anyway, just because I was thinking about Guilty Gear again to show this off, and after this clip, I'm gonna show. I've had to record this video multiple times. I'm glad the controller has not shut off on me. The controller shut off on me multiple times. I've made this video many times, and the controller, again, the converter's broken. So people are like, why don't you play? The converter's broken, motherfucker. If I move my controller one way, it doesn't work. And even the controller, the diagonals are broken. So I mean, that's one of the reasons I stopped playing years ago. So, and then I had one of the videos, the mic cut out. So anyway, if you support my pain for the FGC on NBC, remember to like the videos, like, sub, silly, comment, share, support the channel if you can. I appreciate it. Thanks. The end. Hopefully I'm going to check and the microphone is still working this time.